Hey everybody, what's going on? It is James here with Crypto Common Sense, aka Three Peaks Trading. And I decided to sit down this afternoon and shoot a Bitcoin market update video. Some folks have asked for this, and I thought it would make a good video for the weekend. So we're going to take a look at, we're going to focus on Bitcoin, and we're going to take a look at a couple of different time frames, the daily time frame, the 3-day time frame, weekly time frame. Then we'll also look at some relative strength charts for Bitcoin. So the first chart I want to take a look at here is actually going to be the daily chart for Bitcoin. And there's something happening right now that's important to keep an eye on. And it's not confirmed yet, so there's nothing to panic about, but it is something you need to be aware of. Bitcoin is trying to retest its 200-day moving average, which is this blue line. That's a 200-day simple moving average. And typically in bull markets, that's not how it works. Usually that, the price action stays far above that 200 moving average. Once in a while, it'll correct hard and fast back to it and then bounce off of it with a strong move back up. But we kind of been grinding a little bit toward that, which is a little bit concerning. We've also lost the 50-day moving average, which is typically a line in the sand for a bull market. It tends to be a good support level, and it's failed. So those are the things that the bulls need to be aware of. That 50 moving sideways like this, it's just indicative of a range. And that's what's happening right now. The market has been ranging now really since late February. So at this point, about 4 months that the market has been ranging. So I look for, the next move after it confirms the direction to be pretty strong. And right now that move could still be either way. So I will talk about that more in just a few minutes. Obviously, that 200-day moving average, like I said, is something to keep an eye on. If you go back in previous bull markets, you'll find that, again, price tends to stay off of that. We really don't want to see it coming back down and staying around that level. Like a quick touch like this was fine, or a quick touch like this was fine. But for the most part, we want to stay away from it because once we start coming down, grinding down to it like here in 2018, you can see that the bear market was actually already underway. A lot of people just didn't realize it yet. Okay. If we take a look at a 3-day chart, a little bit concerning that we're back inside this old box. Those of you that have been following me for several years will remember this box, the box I called the bear market box, because typically RSI stays outside of this box during bull markets. It's really in bear market where we start coming back down inside that box. So that's a little bit concerning. It's not good news for the bulls, but, we can't write them off just yet. I say them, I'm actually more of a, I'm in a position, personally speaking, where I'm not trading Bitcoin anymore. I focus on equities and options. And as far as crypto goes, I have zero intention to buy more crypto, so I don't have any reason to want it to go down. So I really, for personal reasons, I want it to go up because I hold a little bit, not a significant amount of crypto. I get zero benefit of it going down, but right now it does look a little bit doggish. Okay, so on the 3-day chart, same thing. We're just ranging sideways. We've lost our 50 moving average on the 3-day chart. We jump to a weekly chart. For those of you that will remember, the 19-week moving average tends to be a very, very strong line in the sand. And in bull markets, it's often a really great place to look for long positions. So for example, back in 2016, it rode along here. Well, this is really, I'm on a Bitstamp chart instead of a Coinbase chart. So we have more data. So, back here in 2012, really great place to get long, down around $10. Then we hit the bear market, started a new bull market, tested it in September 13, around $100. Great place to get long before the run up to over 1,000. Then, of course, it was resistance during that bear market in 2015. Ranged, broke out, great area of support through here around 400 or so, up. Another great area of support around 600 or so, up. Great area of support around 1,000 or so, again around 2,000, again around 3,000, and, all the way up to 20 grand. It was just easy peasy. It was resistance all during the 2018 bear market. And then we had this really weird 2019 where it really didn't get tested except for once here, and it failed. And then we had the bearish retest before it moved down. Then this, fake out, trapped the bulls before the COVID crash. But then again, back to normal here in 2020, acted as support, around that $10,000 level before an absolutely massive move to nearly 70,000. Okay, a little bit more chop, but here's a bullish retest. And then again, goes back into resistance mode for the bear market, takes it down to about 15, 16,000. Bullish here, a little chop around here, and then this big move up. So the fact we're underneath that, it's not great. That's not what's supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to happen in a bull run. So something to keep an eye on. Of course, Trend Titan's been pretty decent about, calling some of these moves. It did have a buy signal coming back around 35 or 30 to 35,000, that ballpark. Hasn't yet put up a sell, but I have a feeling it's probably getting close. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. This shape, you take me back 4 or 5 years, I'd have been screaming from the rooftops about the double top, the double top, the double top. Watch that double top trying to form. It is trying to form. I'm not, criticizing my past self. It is trying to form. But one thing to be really careful of about double tops is you'll often see a leg up, and then you will see a double top, and it looks, hey, I'm going to be one of the first people in this bear short position, and it's going to be so great. I'm going to write it down. But what happens a lot of times, those double tops are actually just ranges that expand a bit. They might do something like this even. And then, maybe even throw a tail down here, and then they, they use that liquidity to move up, and they actually become bull flags, right? Where they have the move up, consolidation, and then another move up. And that second move up tends to be roughly equal to that first move. Okay, well, actually, it would be first move. Like this whole move is often equal to this whole move. So, got to be really careful trying to front run, and call tops and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very dangerous to do that. Because if that does end up being that's not what I wanted to do. If that ends up being a flag, then we could potentially, depending on how you draw this, maybe draw from here to here, we could be looking at a breakout as high as $91, almost $92,000. So that's not off, it's really not off the books too much. That's very, very feasible for it to do that. Now, the other thing that could happen is, again, also very, very feasible, is we could see a correction. It could be that the bull market isn't really over, right? If it was over, it'd be kind of a strange bull market. But we could just be waiting for a correction. In past bull markets, it was typical behavior for Bitcoin to retrace back down to its 61.8 Fibonacci level after a big move. And this was a very big move from 15,000 to 73,000, several 100%. Right around 300% or so from that bottom to the top, 376. Okay, we saw that same behavior back in 2019. Okay, now right now this is on a log chart. Or no, I just had my log. Yeah, I was gonna say it looked loggy to me. Okay, but same thing back in 2019. We saw that move from down around 3,100 or so, moved up 344%, and then we got our big disbelief sell-off. So it doesn't mean the bull market's over. We're in a bear market or nothing like that. It could just be that we need a correction. Okay, to calm down a little bit, correct, and then it would present a buying opportunity if that ends up being the exact case. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Got to be careful and wait and find out. If it does correct down to the 61.8, it would put it down around 37,000, 38,000 ballpark. I would be surprised if it got there and stopped there. If it did go down to that level on some kind of corrective move, this whole zone becomes the golden reload zone, and we have this range back here. So I could see it going down to like 30,000, presenting a buying opportunity potentially. That's one thing. We also had a bit of a range here, so maybe it doesn't quite get to the 61.8. Maybe it just goes down to around 40,000, and stops there. So just some potentials to keep an eye out for. As far as the market and cycle chart, this is the chart that, I've been talking about. It's first posted up back in 2021. And this is measuring Bitcoin versus the QQQ, which is an ETF for the NASDAQ, essentially. And, it's a relative strength chart. So for those of you that are new and don't understand what that means, it's measuring the strength of Bitcoin versus the QQQ. And it has been, very, very accurate. And this looked a lot like hope to me. It really looked like hope. And it still may be hope. Hope does tend to be pretty choppy before you enter into that optimism phase. But I got to say, bulls are going to need to do something pretty quick, because I had this drawn up, more like this, and we fell to the bottom of it. And I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt and say, well, maybe it's just expanding a bit. Maybe this is the actual bottom and this is all going to be a flag. So that's, potentially it. But the other thing could be that I'm a little bit off of my timing and that this was not disbelief at all back here. That this whole move was actually this disbelief rally, just like the summer of 2019. And that we actually need to have a big disbelief dump like here. Okay. Now, again, big being a relative term. It doesn't mean, Bitcoin to zero kind of thing. It could just simply move back down to this old area of chop back here, and that would make perfect sense. If we put fibs on this chart, we might even get something down around this 104 area, again, versus QQQ. It would make sense, I don't think that would be bad. Just realize if you are a firm believer in Bitcoin and you have committed yourself to being a long-term investor, then any corrections or pullbacks or dips or dumps or whatever you want to call them are actually buying opportunities for you. That is a good thing, not a bad thing. Okay? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm presenting a couple different scenarios of possibilities. Right now, this market is ranging, and ranges can break out either way. It is literally, you can flip a coin. There's a 50% chance that it's going to break up and go higher from here. There's a 50% chance that it's going to break down and have some kind of move lower from here. I have no idea which one's going to happen. I do not have a crystal ball, and I cannot see the future. I'm just telling you those are the possibilities. If you're a trader, well, then you better have your own system and trade plan that you're following. If you're an investor, investors tend to want to buy more of an asset as cheap as they can because they believe long term it's going to be worth more than it is. I'll go ahead and wrap the video up there. Obviously, I'm still some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, and that means that nothing in this video is financial advice. You should always go out and do your own due diligence and seek out professional financial advice from a licensed financial advisor before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency, the stock market, precious metals, Forex, or any other tradable asset. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to leave me a comment letting me know you appreciate what I'm doing, or letting me know you disagree with my views. That's cool too. I always like hearing from people. But most importantly, please remember to trade safe.